Hi, my name is Kate Milcheski, and I'm here with my colleague Julie Eckers, and we're independent educational consultants at College Connectors. We've prepared a short presentation to help you understand how you can learn about colleges and universities, even if you can't make it to campus to do an official college visit. In thinking about it from kind of a more global perspective, though, we want to help everyone understand that colleges are really acting in the best interest of their campus community. They are thinking solely for the safety and making decisions on a human level, not an enrollment management level in any means. And so as you think about schools that have closed all second semester or just for a couple weeks, they are really making decisions in the best interest of their students and staff and faculty on campus. When I think about juniors and where you might be in this process, many times there's campus visits scheduled for spring break or at some point this spring, and it's sometimes disappointing after you've been learning about a school and you're really excited to step foot on campus. There might be some disappointment, and we understand that, but it's important for you to realize that there still is time for you to visit those campuses. You're not behind at all, even if you feel like many people have visited and you haven't yet. There's still going to be time for you to visit during the summer and in the fall. So please, just pause and know that any anxiety around that can be minimized a little bit by what we'll be talking about today and just going through and doing the research on different colleges. Seniors, you might be feeling a little bit of urgency, particularly if you are planning to wait to visit some colleges after you get in. And we know many of those decisions are coming out within the next couple of weeks. It's important to remember that you can still make a decision on the school that you will attend in the fall, and you really do know more than what you may think. You've worked a long time, you've done a lot of work in the college search process, researching schools, so all of that work you did is still there. So I encourage you to use what you've done, look at your notes, and really think about how far you've come and what you know about the different colleges.
So we're going to take you through now a couple of different ways you can explore colleges without visiting their campuses. And everything that you see here, these are all things that colleges have had in place for a long time, because of course it's always been true that sometimes a student can't get to a college campus, and colleges still want to be able to engage with that student and give them information to help them understand what campus life is like. So most colleges will have virtual tours that will take students past and even inside of many of the major or all of the major campus buildings, residence halls, dining halls, athletic facilities, so students can really get a sense of what the campus looks like, even if they can't be on it in person. There are also event calendars, and those can be a great resource to understand what past events have occurred and get a sense for what kinds of things are happening on campus. Newspapers, our campus newspapers, are all published digitally now. So going back a month and reading several can give students an idea of what current students are talking about on campus and what kind of the issues of the day are. And many admissions offices will also maintain and have maintained for a long time blogs and will spotlight student perspectives and they can be a great way to understand student life and campus culture as well. Similarly, watching videos and video content can be a good way to get a sense of what campus life and student culture are like. YouTube and Campus Reel are both web-based platforms where you can find video content. Campus Reel is specific to colleges, and again, they are both ways where you can find out insight from students and get their perspective and a lens on campus culture in the way that you would be able to if you were visiting a campus in person.
There are many guidebooks at Barnes and Nobles. There's many guidebooks in your libraries, high schools, and then also through your student portals too. We do have access to research platforms also. So I encourage you to use these guidebooks as you research colleges and take a closer read through the summaries. And what I like about guidebooks is they're subjective, but they really do give you a good lens on the culture of the college that's far beyond the data. As you read and do that close read, I always encourage students to pull out phrases, pull out statistics that are meaningful to them and that could impact their experience on campus. As you take that closer read, an example is you may read in an excerpt that 50% of students study abroad. What that could mean is that there's certainly a lens on global education. It could also mean that at any one time, possibly half the campus could be off campus during that time. So if size is important to you or that community, you want to think about how that could affect your experience in any way. And so certainly reading these subjective, professionally written resources are a really good way to learn more about a school. I also think that you can still reach out to college admissions office, even though you're hearing that students are off campus. Many college admissions offices are still encouraging students to reach out in some way, and it's important to know who you want to talk to, whether it's a student, a faculty member, or possibly a leader of a club or organization or sport. And so please, particularly seniors, take a proactive approach in requesting specific information from college admissions. Particularly on a college visit, you're able to hear from students on a college tour, possibly a student panel. And so when you think about reaching out to students or reading the student spotlights or alumni stories, those would be your voices that you would be hearing if you were to visit campus. And in many ways, you can still take in that information, maybe in a more thorough way, actually, because you still have access to more student spotlights and alumni stories through those websites.
Of course, following your colleges on social media channels is another good way to not only learn more about their culture, but to get information and updates from them right now. Many of you may already be doing this. If you're not, it could be a time to start because through them you'll be able to understand what a college thinks is important right now and things they've been thinking about in the past, and again get a window into not just student culture, but also information that's important to know right now. Similarly, something specific that juniors can do to engage with colleges, and this is a really good idea if you are thinking about or have worry about demonstrating interest to colleges or engaging with them, wanting them to know that you're interested in them and not being able to visit. Filling out the request for information form and being really detailed as you do so that colleges can be responsive and targeted with what they send you, getting you information that you're especially interested in. And seniors, you no doubt have been checking your email and admitted student portals regularly. You should, of course, continue to do that. You're probably already seeing what we've been seeing, which is that colleges are being really proactive with their information that they're putting out there for admitted students, in particular ways to engage with them and get the information you need to make a decision about where you're headed this fall. So know that for colleges, probably one of the first places they're going to put information that an admitted student needs to know is on that admitted student portal, and then flagging it for you perhaps in your email.
So we want to emphasize your primary resource as you're thinking about colleges is the college website. And that runs the gamut of their visit policies. We do know that some schools are canceling all visits and others are allowing individual visits to closures. So even if you do visit a campus, there might not be any students on it, but you might have access still to admission staff. So it's just important to think of that college website as your main source among all of the other resources out there and lists and media out there. Please just head to the college websites. And in closing, we just want to really encourage you to stay calm during this process. Often that college search and application process can be anxiety-ridden. Through all of our steps in our process, we do try to minimize that stress, talk about any concerns, and certainly we want you to make sure that we're available and we're here for you in our offices or virtually, of course. So don't forget that you can use us as a resource to it and meet with us, and seniors particularly if you feel like you need to talk through those admissions decisions, we're certainly available to you. But just know that it's going to work out, stay calm, and trust yourself, and also trust that the schools are working in the best interest of students and prospective students to make sure you're going to get the information you need. And in closing, know that we welcome any questions that you may have. Thank you so much for listening to this, and we look forward to hearing from you.